um, of his childhood. That memory keeps of all thy kindness there. And this home, this pastoral home, keeps all the memories of the kindness of his mother. Uh, Still outlives many a storm that has effaced a thousand other themselves themes less deeply traced. Thy nightly, the poet says that uh, the memory of his mother um, is safe in his mind, although many, although due to many difficulties of his life and miseries of his life, he has forgotten many things, but the memory of his mother is still fair in his mind. That thou mightest know me safe and warmly laid, thy morning bounties before I left my home, the biscuit or confectionery plum, the fragrant waters on my cheeks bestowed by thy own hand, till fresh they shone and glowed, and all this and more endearing still than all, thy constant flow of love that knew no fall, never roughened by those cataracts and breaks that humor interposed too often makes. The poet says that when he used to go to school, his mother, uh, the poet says that in his childhood, his mother used to come in his room daily or each night, and she used to make sure that he he was warmly or safely led. And and when he used to go to school, his mother used to give him many things like biscuits and confectionery plums, and she used to rub fragrant water on his cheek till his cheeks glowed. And his mother's love for him was constant, uh, like a brook which suffers uh, no break, which flows steadily. In the same way, his mother's love for him flowed steadily without any break, without any. Her mother, his mother, never used to feel uh, anger or indifference towards him. Her love for him was steady and constant. All this is still legible in memory space, or and all the love of his mother is clear in his mind, in his memory, and still to be so to my latest age adds joy to duty, make me glad. Still to be so to my latest age adds joy to duty, makes me glad to pay such honors to thee as my numbers may. Perhaps a frail memorial, but sincere, not scorned in heaven, though little noticed here. And all these memories of his mother compels him to write a poem or a song in the memory of his mother. Although this poem may not be may not be very extraordinary, but it will be sincere in love for his mother, and it will be a kind of frail memorial, and it will not be scorned by God. Although people on earth may scorn this poem or criticize this poem, but it will be appreciated by God. Good time, his flight reversed, restored the hours when playing with thy vestures tissued flowers, the violet, the pink, and jasmine. I pricked them into powder with a pin, and thou wast happier than myself the while, wouldst softly speak, and stroke my head and smile. Could those few pleasant hours again appear, might one wish bring them Would I wish them here? I would not trust my heart. The dear delight seems so to be desired. Perhaps I might, but no. What here we call our life is such, so little to be loved, and though so much, that I should ill requite thee to constant thy unbound spirit into bonds again. The poet says that the poet says that um, if it was possible for him to bring back the moments in which he used to play with his mother, he would bring those moments back. But in his childhood, he used to play with the um, vestures or flowers which were printed on the dress of his mother, and he used to prick um, and he used to imitate the flowers um, on the paper by pricking holes into them. The flowers which were made on his mother's dress were the violet of various colors like violet, pink, jasmine, and and he used to feel happy by doing so, but his mother used to feel more happy than him when he used to play with her dress. um, the poet wishes that the poet says that if it was possible for him to bring those moments back to life, uh, would would he uh, would he wish to bring those moments back? But he says that um, he would not do so. He would not wish to bring those moments back because his mother has the soul of his mother has left her body, and she has reached heaven, and he would not like to bring back his mother's soul to in this in on this earth in in bodily frame, um, because this world is full of miseries, and he does not want to bring his mother back in in this world of miseries. And he do not want to bound his mother in the bodily frame again. Thus Thus, as a gallant bark from Albion's coast, the storm all weathered and the ocean crossed, shoots into port at some well-haven isle, where spices breathe and brighter seasons smile. There sit quiescent, and the floods that sow her beauteous foam reflected clear below, while airs impregnated with incense play around her, fanning light in her streaming gape. So, with sails, how swift hast reached the source where tempest never beat nor billows roar, and thy loved consort on the dangerous tide of life long since has anchored at thy side. The poet says that his mother, mm, the poet says that uh, just like a um, just like a ship which starts its journey from England's coast and reaches after crossing many tides and storms on the sea, it reaches on some western island, um, w- western island, and it reaches the port or heaven of western island, and where the spices are uh, can be smelt, and where breezes fragrant breezes are blowing, and where this ship is uh, is floating on the quiescent, quiet water, where there is no flood or tide, uh, and its beautiful foam is reflected in the water. In the same way, his mother has crossed the his mo- mother has crossed the journey of her life swiftly, and it has the ship of her life has reached to the shore or to heaven, and where there is no miseries and uh, tides of life. And her husband, who was a support of her in her life in this world, has also reached to her long ago. But me, scarce hoping to attain that rest, always from post withheld, always distressed, me howling winds drive devious, tempest tossed, sails rift, seams opening wide, and compass lost. And day by day, some current's thwarting force sets me more distant from a prosperous course. But oh, the thought that thou art safe and he, that thought is joy, arrive what may to me. The poet, uh, the poet says that he is happy that the poet says that although his mother and father has reached heaven, but he, he, he do not hope to reach in heaven, uh, because he he is always withheld uh, from reaching heaven by miseries and miseries. Just like a ship which is destined to reach a heaven is diverted by opposite winds and opposite currents, and it and is led it and is led to is led astray. In the same way, he is not reaching his goal, he is not reaching heaven. um, it means the poet wants to say that he do not have any he does not have a hope of finding heaven after his death, or he does not have a hope of salvation. But oh, the thought that thou art safe and he, that thought is joy, arrive what may to me. The poet says that although what make the the poet says that he does not care what will happen to him after death, or whether he will get salvation or not, but he is happy that his parents have reached heaven. From loins enthroned, my boast is not that I deduced my birth from loins enthroned and rulers of the earth, but higher far my proud pretensions rise. The sons of parents passed into the skies, and now farewell time unrevoked has run his wonted course. Yet what I wished is done. The poet says that he does not boast of his royal birth. The poet uh, he does not feel proud of his royal birth, that he does not feel proud that he belongs to a royal family, but he feels proud that his parents have reached heaven. um, by contemplations not sought in vain, I seemed have lived my childhood over again, to have renewed the joys that once were mine, without the sin of violating thine. And while the wings of fancy still are free, and I can view this mimic show of thee, time has but half succeeded in his theft. Thyself removed, thy power to soothe me left. The poet says that although the poet says that he wants to bring back his mother and his mother to life, but not as but not giving any harm to them. Means he wants to bring his mother back in his memory, in through imagination. He wants to renew the memories of his childhood through his imagination. Thus the picture of his mother, thus uh, thus his mother has been removed from his life, but she has power to soothe him, to give relief to him. In this way, in this poem, the poet expresses his love and filial affection for his mother, and he honors his mother by writing this poem in her memory. Thank you.